In this video, I'm going to go over some updates to Google Docs. It's been 15 years since Google launched Docs and Sheets and Slides and all those fun workplace products. So they figured it was a time for a big change. So what they did was they moved from an HTML rendering system to Smart Canvas. Now, if you want to know more about Smart Canvas and dig into that deeper, you can look in the YouTube notes where it explains. It's in like the bottom underneath the video. I'll put some links to articles about Smart Canvas. It's pretty cool. But what I'm going to go over in this video are the interactive checklists, which are new and fantastic. These are all fantastic and new updates. I should stop saying that. You can insert links more easily with AI suggestions with this new thing called Smart Chip, and I'll talk about that. There are also new image options in Docs. I know Docs has always been kind of clunky with using images, but they're getting a little better. There's also a little button that you guys may have seen. It's a present to Meet. It's present to Google Meet button. I'll show you that. And then I'll go over, there are some templates that are coming soon that are going to be rolling out pretty soon. And then there's an integration with Google Task that is coming out. All right, so let's get started. So here's a document that has some notes from a meeting. So in this meeting, they're discussing some steps they need to do to complete a project. So they need to look up students in PowerSchool, complete a quick lookup, and then they might be adding more things. We could add checkboxes to those items. Everybody loves checkboxes. It's very satisfying when you can click a checkbox and it crosses out the task that you had to complete. So what you would do is you would highlight where you want the checkboxes and then go up here. It's in between the paragraph setting and the bullets. It's right here, and if you hover over it, it says checklist, and I'm going to click it, and it's going to add a little checkbox right there next to those two items. And if I wanted to add another item and I hit enter, share with Gabby. So these are the tasks. And then it's so fun when you click the little checkbox, it actually puts a little check and then it crosses out that item. So it's very satisfying. The next thing I want to talk about is the Smart Chip. With this new Smart Canvas, it's allowing Google products to be more interactive. And they've always been interactive and collaborative, but now it's even better. One of the items on the checklist is to share with Gabby. If I just type in the @ symbol, it will bring up some items for me. So it's looking at the document and it's trying to figure out what I might be looking for. But if I start typing something in, like Gabrielle, so here's Gabby, so I could click this and it brings a link. And if you notice, if I hover over it, it brings in a link to Gabby. Now, Gabby will not get an email when I do this or anything. And you can add multiple people. So I could add, so I could click on Christy Martin, and that puts that link to Christy's information. But if you notice, it pops up a little message for me, and it's reminding me that I have not shared this document with Christy. So this is a nice reminder, because if you're putting someone in a document, you might also want them to have access to it. I would just click on share. It'll bring up the sharing settings, and I could give Christy editing access, and then I could click share. Now notice when I put a student, it didn't give me that option, which is interesting. But when I put Christy, it did tell me that I did not share that document with her. But if you notice Gabby's name, it's long and it's a little tough to spell. So it's nice to just have that @ option. If you are taking notes about students, you could put that @ and then you are ensured that you have their name spelled correctly. So now down here, I have check out the WLS Staff Hub. So that's what I want to put in my notes to everyone that I want them to review the Staff Hub. So if I do Shift 2 or the @ symbol, notice down here, it gives me that file, which is so cool. And I click on it, and then there is a link to the Washington Local Staff Hub. It's very, very cool. So there are new image options. So let's insert an image and I will show you. Now, since you heard Rufus, I figure I will put in a picture of my cat, Rufus. There we go. When you click on an image, we have these options at the bottom. These two right here are brand new. So it's behind text and in front of text. So that gives you some more options when you're playing around with these images. Now you notice if I click on it, I can't drag it. I have to do the wrap text to move the image around. You have to choose wrap text. If I want the image to be behind the text, I can do that, and then it just there's the text and there's the picture. This might be handy if you're doing a newsletter and you want to, let's see, we'll change that to like yellow, and then you can have like a caption or something on the picture. And then you'll notice that you can have it in front of the text, so it blocks out the text. I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but there's probably a reason. So those are your new image options. The next thing I'm going to talk briefly about is the present to Google Meet, and that is this button right here. We actually have Google Meet turned off for the students, but you can still use Google Meet with staff. So if you had a meeting, you could use Google Meet. If I'm in a Google Meet, I can click this button. It will share my screen. So instead of going to share screen, finding the document, all that kind of stuff, it's built into the Google Workspace. So you'll see one on Docs, you'll see one on Slides, you'll see one on Sheets. So it's that present to Google Meet. So that's what that is, if you were wondering. The next two things are not available now, but they are coming soon. So I have an animated image that shows you what it'll look like. So I'm going to share that right now. So here is this new feature, and this is the template voting. So this is not available yet, but this is what the template voting would look like. It's very exciting. So this is, in this example, you have a bunch of book titles and the author, and then you share this document with your class maybe, and then everyone votes on what book they want to read next. So I see a lot of really good uses for this, even just in a meeting, and you put your meeting dates, possible meeting dates coming up, and you have people in the document select which works for them. I also wanted to talk about another new feature, which is the ability to compare two documents. So let me show you that. So here I have one document. It's just I cut and pasted something from an article, and I want to compare this to another item. So I cut and pasted on another document, and then I deleted some things and I added some things. So I want to compare those two documents. So if you go to Tools, and here is Compare Documents. And the only reason I knew it was a new feature is because this little new thing was there. So I hurried up and added this. So I'm going to click Compare Documents, and then it's going to ask for that other document. So it has to be something that's in your drive, and it has to be a doc. It can't be like a Google slide or anything like that. So I'm going to go to Recent, and this is document 1. So I'm going to compare it to document 2. I am going to click Compare. And what it does is it will actually create another document that show the differences. So I'm going to click Open. Here's the document that it created when it compared those two other documents. It names it Comparison of Document 1 and Document 2, because that's actually what I named those documents, Document 1 and Document 2. And it goes through and it outlines what the changes are between those two documents. And then it also highlights them as comments. So if I click on that, I can see the substitution here. And if I'm okay with it, I can click OK, and then it'll revert to the document 1. So those are a few of the Google Doc updates. If there's anything new that comes out, I will let you know. and you have a great day.